Let's talk about Chemical Hearts, which is the first of two new coming-of-age films that are being released this week. This one is on Prime Video, and it's written and directed by Richard Tan, who is his second film. His first was South Side with You, which was a kind of Richard Linklater-style drama about the auspicious first date between the couple who become the Obamas. And this is a kind of feels like a sidestep in a career rather than a development of the things that were going on in that film, which I really, really enjoyed. This is adapted from a young adult novel by Crystal Sutherland, and it centres on a 17-year-old aspiring writer played by Austin Abrams called Henry Page. A very telling name, perhaps, for his chosen career path. But he begins by monologuing, basically setting up the theme of the film, which is that you are never more alive than when you're a teenager, because of all these hormones, these chemicals coursing through your body that are moving you on from one stage of life to the next. There is a sort of a heightened sensation around everything that happens to you. You know, your lab partner can feel like the love of your life. It's one of the examples that he gives. And Henry is frustrated because he feels as if he has all these great, very emotionally intense things to say to the world, but nothing particularly emotionally intense is happening in his own life. So he's a writer without a muse, effectively. So the tone already, you can tell, I mean, within the opening 5 seconds, this is, it's in the style of John Green, you know, a film like The Fault in Our Stars, adapted from the John Green novel. It's intensely Gen Z, it's intensely earnest. And Henry's muse shows up as if by magic from another school. She transfers in a girl with, again, very telling name of Grace, who's played by Lily Reinhart. She transfers in from elsewhere in the town. And Henry is instantly love-struck because he sees her reading Neruda. Not only is she reading Neruda, it's a well-thumbed Neruda. And not only is it well-thumbed, but she's highlighted her favourite lines in this. So this is Henry love-struck instantly. This is someone who he is going to pursue and get to know. And they are both assigned to co-edit this incredibly high-flown school magazine, which is going to release 2 normal issues of school magazine stuff and then finish with one themed issue about the teenage condition. And this is something that Henry and Grace both have a lot of opinions about. And here's a clip in which they share some of them.
Okay, think about what it means to be a teenager. Okay? Your parents pressure you to succeed. Your friends pressure you to do what you don't want to do. Social media pressures you to hate your body. It's hard, even if you're a well-adjusted kid from a good family.
Okay.
So now imagine you can't be with the person that you love, like Romeo and Juliet or Werther, or you lose the person that you love, like Holden or Conrad. There's a reason why when every author from Shakespeare to Salinger writes about young people, they can't avoid the truth that being young is so painful. It's almost like too much to feel.
Almost too much. There you
I
go.
remember it well.
The one thing I will say as well is, whilst being young is being very painful, there's an air of mystery around Grace as well. One of the things that Henry notices about her is that she walks with a stick, and the plot isn't courageous enough to make that an incidental detail. This is obviously part of the mystery of why she's suddenly arrived from a new school. He also looks her up online. Of course, her Facebook's set to private, so there's this sense of, she's trying to start afresh in life. And Henry becomes very intrigued by this. Now, I will say that Austin Abrams and Lily Reinhart do make quite an appealing screen couple. To me, there's definitely a sense that the chemistry here is modelled on Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart in Twilight. It's as if the slider on Kristen Stewart has been moved very slightly towards Robert Pattinson, and the slider on Robert Pattinson has been moved very slightly towards Kristen Stewart, and that's the kind of core energy, the core chemistry with this couple. And as Henry discovers more about Grace, he digs into her past, he talks to her, she starts to reveal secrets bit by bit. There's lots of wistful indie rock music, of course. There's kind of dappled autumnal light. They go to the ruins of a cotton mill and see koi carp swimming around poetically in
As you do.
in the puddles, as you do. Also, in something, this kind of piece of imagery that is like, you can hear the truck reversing down the street with metaphor written on the side, like beep, 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 and here comes the metaphor. Henry's hobby is repairing broken vases in a way that makes a virtue out of the fractures. Okay, now this is actually a Japanese pastime called kintsukuroi, so it's a legit thing. But this is obviously...
But I wonder what that means.
Exactly. And then, of course, Grace says at one point, "I'm not like one of your vases, Henry." And you're like, all right, I see now. So my issue with it is this: the cast are very good. The kind of the technical stuff, it looks great. It sounds the part. But the story is intensely cliched and earnest. And I think part of the problem is there's this strain of young adult writing where writers are overly cautious about allowing characters to make mistakes. Henry does not know the full picture. He blunders a little bit, he stumbles, he does things with good intentions that don't pay off. But he is not selfish and snide and horrible in the way that teenagers are. He doesn't really have any kind of real flaws. And to me, this is just not good storytelling. It's not engaging cinema. So that's really my big issue with it. It's an ethically sound film, which is boring, right? It's not dramatically exciting. It's the chemistry is just not there.